Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bethany if you're new here, and today we're going to talk about all the books that I read in the month of April. Great, so by the time you see this, it's probably going to be like the middle of May, but I'm still here to talk about my April reads, but it's been a while, so hopefully I can remember how I felt about them. So I'm going to be going in ranking order today. Okay, so we're going to start with the one that I DNF'd. I was thinking at the time that this was a soft DNF. I don't really know if I'm feeling very interested in picking it back up or not, but I don't know that I'm ready to unhaul it. So that's where we're at with that. And that is Bryn and Sebastian Hate Each Other by Bethany Turner. So I did start it on audio, didn't get very far into it, and nothing like made me actually just set it down. I just was more interested in reading other things. I have seen a couple of people talk about it since then, and Bryn in this, she starts out really unlikable, and it kind of sounded like she doesn't get better, like she doesn't become more likable. So I don't know if I'm interested in reading it if that's the case. I don't know. When I heard that, I thought, oh, well, that doesn't sound very good. So I don't know. I might keep it and try again, or I might unhaul it. I can't decide. So I will say that I've read maybe just 2 other Bethany Turner. The ones I know for sure is Plot Twist, which I loved. It was really good. And then The Secret Life of Sarah Hollenbeck. I don't know if that's right. I think I'm gonna put a picture up because that one was really good. It was all about like this new believer who, she was a romance author and she wrote a lot of smut, and then she met Jesus and like was navigating what to do with her career and how to write romance without smut, and how like her own personal romance story. It was really good. I thought it was great. So yeah, I recommend those other ones by Bethany Turner. I just don't know if this one is for me. Next up is Everyone is Beautiful by Catherine Center. This one really surprised me. I really have liked everything I've read of Catherine Center's. I think I've read like 5 or 6. I want to read Her to Zero this year. That's one of my goals. So this was on my journey to do that. But I didn't mesh with this one. This one is very different than her other ones. Usually she writes like really good romance with some depth, but still like fun and very believable romance to me. This one was about a married woman with young children, and I didn't feel really a connection with the romance, which is so sad because they were married. And I also did not like her like attitude about motherhood and marriage, and I think it was intended to be funny. She had little boys, like I think 3 young boys, so I mean, yeah, I get that is a lot. And anyway, she was a stay-at-home mom and just kind of struggling in that and in her marriage, and she also like lied to her friend I wasn't crazy about. I don't know, I just felt like it's not something I really wanted to read, even though I finished it and I went ahead and it actually, by the end, I went up to 3 stars. I was feeling like 2-star level the whole book, and then at the end I was like, okay, I'll give it 3 stars. I think I just wanted to be generous because I really like Catherine Center and I like her writing, and I was engaged with it the whole time, just a little frustrated. Catherine Center does not write Christian fiction. I know that. I love her romances anyway. They're closed door. They're good. They do have language, but it doesn't usually bother me too much. And I really, really, really like her books. And it doesn't bother me that there's not faith content in it. Like, it's fine. In this one, I feel like just because of the topic and because it was like about marriage and motherhood, I felt like it needed it. I felt like I would have enjoyed it if that was in there. Like, if she had a relationship with the Lord or talked about it, or, you know, found Jesus, or I don't know, like if she had that, her life would have been better. I would have enjoyed the book. You know, I don't know. That's just where I'm at with that one. But so 3 stars. Next is another one that I was being really generous with, I feel like. That is The Waterkeeper by Charles Martin. I was really looking forward to this one. I was also looking forward to the Catherine Center book, but I was really looking forward to this one. This is Christian fiction about human trafficking in the United States. It's set in Florida. It has a lot about boats and waterways in it, and I read this for Krista's Patreon book club, and a lot of people weren't crazy about like the boat talk and the Florida waterways. I didn't mind it. I actually was like looking up the coastline of Florida and like trying to figure out what he was talking about. So that was okay for me. It was very action-packed. I liked that. I liked the topic. I liked the light it was shedding on human trafficking in the US and kind of how that happens to people and how people are drawn into that. I also appreciated that it brought all of that to light without being like really graphic, because I didn't, you know, I don't want details about some of that stuff. I mean, there was definitely violence in it and things, but it was not too much for me at all. So I liked all of that about it. The romance in it, there were a couple of different romance plots, kind of, and I did not like them at all. I didn't believe them. I don't know. I just didn't like really any of that. So Murphy Shepard is our main character, and I don't really know how to describe like what he is or what he does, but he basically goes out on boats and tries to rescue girls from these yachts and boats that are getting basically lured into trafficking. And so I thought all of that part was really good. It was kind of unrealistic on how like Superman-ish he was. Like, he couldn't get brought down, so that felt kind of unrealistic. And then, like I said, the romance, I didn't like any of it. I didn't like the past romance. I didn't like the current romance. I just didn't believe any of it. So I was planning on possibly, like, I wanted to read this one first, but there's at least 2 more in this series, and so I thought I would want to read those too and get those, but at this point I don't. I did land on 4 stars for this. Okay, it's getting better. We're getting better, even though this was also a 4-star. This is why I feel like I need half stars, because this was a 4-star, but it was a better 4-star. This is Radar Girls by Sarah Ackerman. I've been really wanting to read a Sarah Ackerman because she was born and raised in Hawaii and writes historical fiction set in Hawaii, and this lived up to what I wanted it to be, for sure. It is about the ward, which is Women's Air Raid Defense, that started in World War II in Hawaii after Pearl Harbor. They needed women to come in and help with that, and so it's like a great story about friendship in that community. It's a really good story about war and love, and I loved all of the details about just Hawaii and the island. It's set on Oahu. My grandpa lives on Oahu. My great-grandparents lived there my whole life. My grandpa's lived there my whole life. So I've been there and I could recognize all these places and towns that they were going to. It also talked about like ranch life. So yeah, it's not marketed as Christian, it's not, but they were praying at a few times. And even one of the times, one of the girls was like, I don't believe in this, but can we pray for these men? Because they were in the middle of war. I liked that that was included, and I thought, you know, sometimes, like, even if you're unsure about God, like, when war is going on, like, you need to talk to him. You need to reach out. You want to bring things to him because, you know, it's scary. So, I don't know. I thought that was a nice little surprise that I wasn't expecting. And yeah, I thought it was good. I am definitely going to be reading more of Sarah Ackerman just to get all the feels about like Hawaiian food and, you know, things on the island. So that was a really fun time for me. Okay, the last two are my 5-star reads. So I did do vlogs for both of these, so I'm going to link those below, and I'm not going to talk too much about them. So this is The Seat Saved by Heather Hallman, and this is a middle grade Christian fiction about a girl going into middle school and really struggling with fitting in, with her friendships, with growing up. It is such a good story and had so much good faith content in it that I would definitely recommend this to teenage girls. Like, it is so good. I mean, and boys, but you know, the main character is a girl. So it was so good. I highly recommend it. Okay, last one was my favorite book of the month, and that was Francine Rivers' The Masterpiece. I have a whole vlog on this and talk about it a lot, so I'm just gonna leave that below. Just know that it's a great book. I recommend you read it. It's contemporary. It's really the first book that I finished by Francine Rivers. I have started Redeeming Love and didn't finish it, so I do want to get back into that, and I do want to read more of Francine Rivers because her writing is so good and her faith content is so good. So I definitely recommend this one. And those are all of my books for April. So let me know what you read in April or what your favorite book was in April down in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye.